Hi, I'm Courtney Wharton. I'm writing a paper on charitable donations and where the money really goes. I wanted to research this because after everything that was said on social media and the news outlets about American Red Cross and different organizations like that they weren't using the proper tools to help people and they were misusing money, I wanted to see if that was completely accurate and figure out the real facts about that. So with that, I researched a Christian nonprofit and a regular organization. So I researched Convoy of Hope and American Red Cross. I didn't really find a lot about Convoy of Hope. They help mainly internationally, but they do help here locally on the coast. So they were down there and doing what they could, but they were a very small organization and there wasn't a whole lot of information about them. But the American Red Cross, there was a lot of information. I could not find the negative information that was found on Facebook. I did quote some of that stuff just because I just needed to get it out there, showing a comparison. And the American Red Cross and FEMA are partners now, and they help together because the more people you have coming together, the more you're going to get done if you work as a team and have one plan to get with stuff done. The American Red Cross in the Houston area, where Harvey hit mainly for the longest, they served 4.5 million snacks and meals, and they distributed a lot of money, 229 million in financial assistance for people that could get it. Not everybody can get that, but a lot of people did. They distributed $1.6 million in relief items. So obviously they're not just sitting around doing nothing. They're helping people because they would not be able to do that without all of the donations that were given to them. So they do have overhead, but with every organization there is overhead in spending and stuff like that. So there on the social media there was talk about how they were throwing away food and that they were serving food that wasn't healthy, and that the churches were doing it better and stuff like that. I didn't find any of that. I think if I were to have gone down there and saw firsthand what was actually going on, I probably could have figured out even more information, but I couldn't do that because that's far away. I was integrating human science and the financial part of those classes that I took for that. The financial side is that they are going to have to spend money to be able to make more money for the people. That's how their overhead's there. They do pay employees, but there is mainly volunteers. I think finding the best organization is important. That's why doing research before donating is important. But American Red Cross and neither Convoy of Hope, they're not the worst organizations. You would be surprised at what the worst one was. But it wasn't one that was like for helping people, for disaster relief. Convoy of Hope was rated the best of America by the Independent Charities of America, which is really good. United Way, I also looked into them a little bit, because that's a well-known one. There's one in Lubbock that I used to donate money to. A lot of that money stays locally or in the state of Texas. They want to help build stronger communities, and that's kind of what American Red Cross does. But the American Red Cross does help outside the United States as well some. Most giving is done in December. And there's also Giving Tuesday. That was a few weeks ago. That's when a lot of giving is done. It's almost tripled. So American Red Cross is rated 83.33 out of 100 according to the Charity Navigator, which is a really good site to finding out information about charities. So on the research that I have found, back to working together and working as a team, they can, with them joining together, they can open more shelters and feed more people, distribute more emergency supplies, and they can reunite families. A single organization cannot tackle all of the problems. So on the overhead, which I had mentioned, that is important. Because it does allow them to have more events and be able to raise more money. So 95% of the Red Cross people are volunteers, and though only 5% are employees. With those employees, it is very important that helps it run. And then the volunteers are super important because they're working for free and they're volunteering their time. And it's not, you don't have to go do that. They're doing that at the kindness of their heart. So this was interesting. American Red Cross spends 89.6% on programs, and Convoy of Hope spends 90.5% of the funds on programs. So only 10% is going to overhead. So if you think about that, that's not a lot. But it is some, and that helps to run the programs better. The reason that American Red Cross is very well known mainly is because there's lots of advocates that are famous people that support it, like President Barack Obama, Sandra Bullock, and Kevin Hart, just to name a few. and that really helps whenever somebody's advocating for the company, and to donate, and their donations, of course, because they can donate more than the rest of us normal people. So the accountability for Convoy of Hope is 100 out of 100. So that means that they're 100% trusted, faith-based humanitarian organization. So back to the social media. What you read on the internet isn't always going to be true, and before you start spreading stuff, it is important to research it before you share it, and to make sure that it is accurate, because a lot of it is negative out there. And even though there is some bad stuff, they are still helping people. If we didn't have them, all those people would not get help. And so I think that's very important, that they are there helping people, even if they have a bad rap sometimes.